Once upon a time in a kingdom far, far away, there lived a king. Not a king of a huge empire, but a king of his own little world. He was just a simple man with a simple dream. He had fought silently in college and university. He stepped into the world not as an angry young man, but as a hopeful one, ready to work hard, make something of himself, and build a future. But life wasn't kind. Jobs weren't easy to find. The struggle was real, the competition fierce. He smiled through the rejections, through the failures, pretending everything was okay. Then one day, amidst the chaos of life, he got a job. A decent job. A job that meant he wouldn't have to move back in with his parents, that he could support himself, that he could take care of his wife, maybe even think about kids. He thought things would get better. They did, in some ways. But as months passed, he realized happiness wasn't just about employment. There were days when he came home and his wife would question him. Just wondering, "Why are you back so early? Don't you have work?" And he would pretend to be surprised. "Oh, I finished early." But the truth was, he'd been fired. He hadn't found another job yet. He was scared to tell her because he didn't want to add to her worries. He had dreams, aspirations, goals. She had given up hers for him. Now he felt it was his turn to sacrifice. His happiness was dependent on her happiness. Now he had to meet his parents' expectations, his wife's and the child's. There was pressure from his family to have a second child, pressure to buy a house, to drive a good car, to wear good clothes, to eat good food. There was pressure from his workplace to socialize, to network, to drink, to stay late at work. There was pressure from society to conform, to fit in, to keep up appearances. And he kept quiet. He kept striving. A work at Moore took on extra shifts, picked up freelance work. He became a slave to his schedule, a robot of habits. Every morning he woke up before the sun, kissed his sleeping wife, took the kids to school, went to work, came back, played with the kids, made dinner, tucked the kids in bed, talked to his wife, ate, slept. And then he did it all over again. There was no time for him, his thoughts, his feelings, his needs, his wants. The only time he got was in the shower, when he stood under the water, letting it run over his tired body, hoping to wash away the tension, the stress, the fatigue. He would close his eyes, breathe in the steam, and in that one moment, he felt alive. But then he had to turn off the water, dry himself, put on a new shirt, a new mask, and face the world again. He laughs in front of others, jokes around, makes people laugh. He tells stories, funny, engaging stories. But when no one is looking, when everyone has gone home, he sits in his room and the silence is deafening. No one knows what he's thinking, what he's feeling. They see a strong, successful man. They don't see the tears in his eyes. If he's lucky, his wife understands him. She knows how to hold his hand when he's sad, how to make him smile when he's down. If he's lucky, she's his safe place. In that case, he finds small moments of mental peace. He finds solace in her eyes, strength in her arms, comfort in her silence. They sit together, not saying a word, but he feels understood. But if she doesn't understand him, then his pain stays buried. He keeps going because that's what men are taught to do, to endure, to provide, to stay strong, even when they're breaking inside. Because men are not allowed to cry. Men are not allowed to be weak. Men are not allowed to show their emotions. Because according to society, it's considered a sign of weakness. So he walks alone in a life full of noise, in a world that celebrates being busy, in a society that glorifies working overtime, in a job that encourages overworking. He learns to live with the pain, the constant, dull ache in his chest. Maybe someday things will change. Maybe someday he'll find his peace. Until then, he keeps going, because that's what a man is supposed to do, isn't it?